Hey guys, and welcome back to And That's the Word. My name is Jordyn Davis, and today's topic will be about self-discovery. And this topic is really important to me because I feel like you can't understand your faith and why you believe in God until you understand yourself and just get to learn yourself. Because surprisingly, I realized a lot of people don't know who they are separated from their parents, their friends, their church. They don't know who they are and why they believe the things that they do. And I don't know about everybody else, but I know during this whole pandemic and quarantine, like I don't know, I just kind of was just like going through it. Like it kind of made me like a little depressed. I've never been depressed before. It just made me kind of sad, and I just was not in a good space. Like I wasn't. And so I wanted to change that because I'm a very happy person. I don't like being sad. And so what I did is I took time to get to know myself. I took time to understand why I believe in what I believe in and why I do the things that I do. And I took this time to do that, and honestly, that just made me so much happier. I took time to figure out different hobbies. I started doing new hobbies. I started just reconnecting with myself and just getting out and doing things and just figuring out what worked for me and not for other people. When I started doing that, that made me much happier. And I also had to figure out what God meant to me, because a lot of times we let other people try to dictate who God is and what he means to us, and we have to stop doing that. I go to church, and since this whole pandemic, I haven't been to church in months. I mean, I'm sure same as all of you. And I'm not gonna lie, like not going to church has actually kind of been refreshing for me. And I know that might sound weird, but I have felt so much more closer to God during this pandemic without me going to church. And I think the reason why is because the church that I am a part of, or the whole religion that I am a part of, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. That's what I'm just Christian. I don't really like to associate myself with a religion, but I go to a Seventh-day Adventist church. And I was talking to my friends about it, and basically we realized that we don't really like how the church makes people feel. I mean, we're talking about our church specifically. We don't really like how they make people feel. And a lot of times, I'm sure this is like with like a lot of different people, a lot of different religions, a lot of different churches, they try to dictate who God is for them. And that could be very detrimental, especially to young people who are trying to discover themselves and figure out why they believe in what they believe in. And so having that time away from the church and not having any third party trying to tell me who God is has been very refreshing with my relationship with God. The most important thing, honestly, is just having a relationship with God. It's not about reading the Bible. I mean, the reading the Bible is important, but God matters about you just speaking to him and having a relationship with him. And that's what I have been doing. Obviously, reading the Bible is good. Obviously, going to church is good. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is having a relationship with God. We have to realize that there's multiple ways to skin a cat. You have to figure out which way is best for you. And that's all that matters. That's all God matters. I mean, that's all God cares about is what is best for you. Whatever you have to do to get close to him, that's what you have to do. It's not about the nitty-gritties and whatever people are trying to tell you. It's not. And when you realize that, you just probably, at least for me, it was like a major burden like lifted off my chest, because I used to think that there was like one way to just like worship God and one way to connect with God. But ever since I've just learned more about myself and understood more about myself and understood more about what I actually believe in, I have just been so much happier. Like, I'm just so happy. I feel good. I used to stress over the nitty-gritties and stuff that didn't matter. And God only cares about having a relationship with him. You have to remember that everybody is different. Not what one person may do to get close to God is not what you have to do. I mean, you have to realize what that is for you, and the only way to do that is by talking to God yourself. That's the only way. You can't look to other people for answers, because that's just going to stress you out. You have to look to God. That's the only person that you can look to for these answers, to figure out the best way to connect with him. And that's what I have been doing, and it's just been so refreshing. I've just been so much more happy. So I just challenge everybody just to figure out who you are, figure out what makes you happy. And I'm not talking about only with God. I'm talking about what makes you happy. What do you like to do? What major do you want to do? Not for your parents. This goes with school. This goes with everything. What generally makes you happy? Because you cannot live for anybody else but yourself. You know, that applies with anything. Like, I just feel so much better. Even with my major, I finally figured out what I want to do, and it's not for anybody else, it's for myself. So you just, during this time, we have all this idle time. If you like to travel, travel. If you like to fish, fish. If you like to draw, draw. Like, do what makes you happy. Hang out with people who are positive and build you up and lift you up and motivate you and encourage you. Don't be around toxic people. Just have like positive energy and positive vibes around you. And then when you add God on top of that, you're just going to be unstoppable. And so, yeah, that is my little thoughts for today. And I guess I will end this out with a verse. And I will end this out with John 14, verse 27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. And this verse, like, really means a lot to me, because it just shows how, like, the only person you can look to for peace is Jesus. Like, that's the only person who can give you that peace. And so once you, like, just feel peaceful, you're not going to be anxious, you're not going to be worried, you're not going to be depressed. And, you know, I'm not saying it in the same cliche way that everybody else says it. I mean, it's true. Like, you just, you know, you do you, but you do you with the help of God. And that's all you can do. And I hope that this helps somebody.